Hey, everybody, welcome back to the Manny and Sean Experience podcast. Is this episode 95? I think. Yes.
Yes.
Episode 95, we bring you our what's going to now be an annual classic called our Valentine's Day special, where we answer all the questions you've submitted about love, sex, and whatever else you wanted to ask
Relationships.
us. We're bringing back our two faves from last year, Corey and Kelsey. And we're going to weigh in on all your questions coming up next on the Manny and Sean Experience podcast.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Hi, everyone. Welcome back. We are in the mix, and we have two familiar faces. Please welcome back Kelsey Bailey and Corey, no last name.
Oh, well, you gave Kelsey's full government name.
I'm like, damn, city's gonna come for me.
Now they're really going to Google her.
You want to start this over?
Don't worry, I can edit it out.
I'm not that important.
You can Google photo search Corey, and I'm sure his Instagram will come up or something.
We're already having too much fun. So, it has been a year since we did our last Valentine's Day podcast.
It's probably our highest rated episode.
It really is.
You're
Truly
welcome.
is.
Thank you so much. Still
So,
free labor, though.
we wanted to ask, we'll start with Corey.
Oh.
Has your relationship status changed since the last time you were here?
A few times.
There's 365 days in a year.
And I think I probably had a different one each. No, I'm just kidding. Overall, it has changed. I still don't. Yeah, it's changed. It's
Okay, that's fine, and you can leave it at that. These people don't need to know your business.
It's a full sentence.
I mean, yeah. Kelsey, same question.
Yes.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, I think so. I can't exactly remember what I told you last year. Because you know I like to live in the land of it's complicated, but it's probably the least complicated that it's been in a long time. So.
Okay.
All right.
I love that.
I think mine went from being non-existent to now it is complicated.
So maybe we do this next year. You'll be floating in the least complicated boat as I am.
I got a lot of work to do, let me tell you. It's really complicated.
So we're committing to a yearly one then, is what we're saying.
I'm down. This can be therapy.
It can be therapy.
You're my therapist, so.
Free group therapy.
Speaking of which, we would just like to put this disclaimer that we are not therapists. We are no sorts of experts, and this is strictly for entertainment purposes only. Please do not try to sue us if the advice you get from either person on our panel ruins your life. Thank you. All right. With that said,
I only work with doctors. I'm not one.
with that said,
Same.
let's get into the questions.
Sure. Here. Would you like to pick the first one?
Oh, I'm doing all the talking. Got it. Question number 1. Why do you think people lie in their relationships? Is it not best to communicate? I will let whoever wants to go first go.
Press your buzzer.
I think Kelsey, take that.
What a broad question. Like, what are these people lying about, though? And at what level of lying are we trying to address here? I think communication's important and utmost, but like little white lies, sometimes I don't think are the worst thing. Like, if you tell your partner, like, about gifts, like that's technically a lie, but like you're not going to tell them what you got them when they ask.
Yeah.
Okay, that's fair.
Too bad.
Yeah, it is a very
It is
broad
very
question.
broad.
It leaves you to, you don't know what kind of lying it is. Are you lying about things you're doing in your relationship? Are you lying about, I didn't buy you a gold necklace, I bought you a silver necklace?
Or are you lying that you said you're going to Publix, but you're really going to Shanika's house?
Ooh.
Should be.
That's the lie that we. But if you're going to, you
Yeah,
say you're
I
going to
mean-
Publix, but you go into Whole Foods, who cares? Like,
I think sometimes people lie to protect the other person. Sometimes people lie to protect themselves. I don't agree with it, but they do it. I don't know why they do it though. Was that the
That's-
why?
The question is why.
I think
I mean,
it's
they're
to protect themselves or the other person. I mean, rather it be good or bad for the other person, I don't think like they should decide that. Like, I don't think that it's my job to say I'm gonna lie to you to protect you from. But I think in my opinion it boils down to like to protect your interests or well, it's always your interest, but like or the other person.
okay.
I agree. And I think that could apply to like relationship or just more broadly. Like whether I'm, I secretly really like Sprouts instead of Whole Foods,
I don't secretly, I actually do.
But I mean, I think on a relationship, it's probably a greater scale of importance there that not lying.
Yeah, I mean, I have to assume that they're talking about bigger lies because they asked about communication, which is key in any relationship. I can see both sides. I can see lying to protect someone's feelings or shield them from hurt, but also in the end, if they find out about that lie, I feel like that hurt can be 10 times more than what the truth was.
Right, it's gonna happen anyway.
Depending on what it is. I mean, if it's just, I like Sprouts more than Publix, then
I mean,
no one cares. But if you're lying
But I
saying
don't believe my
that,
house.
I mean, there, same. I just got quarters today. But if that lie is, I have a secret family that you don't know about,
Can you
and you
imagine?
find out later,
Ooh,
not
we're
me.
gonna talk about having a secret family later.
no, that was
I'm
just a
saying,
scenario.
it's just a scenario.
I was concerned.
Then that is a different type of lie. And
Yeah. There's levels to lies.
there are levels.
Right.
So do you think it's good to lie?
blanketly, no. Like, if we're gonna
Yeah,
blanket statement, no. But like, I don't know. I think too, when you enter into a partnership with someone, you do in some instances lose tiny little bits of yourself and maybe some of those things that you did in private that you don't want your partner to know about. So like some of your weird habits that you have, like, I don't ever want to tell my partner about them, but it's not lying. It's just like I want almost kind of to them to protect the image they have of me. And so
Right.
I would say no, it's not good to lie. You should always communicate and you should be honest, but I don't think that there's necessarily anything wrong with your relationships when there's very small things that wouldn't really affect the other person's feelings. If that
I don't think that it's good to lie when the lie can hurt someone. Now,
Yeah.
I forgot to close the refrigerator, or I don't know, I lost the car keys, but I found them 2 hours later. But I told you that I never lost them. That I don't. Whatever. That I had to track my AirTag to find my phone or my wallet. I don't think that's something. But if it's like you said earlier, like, oh, I have an entirely different family that I have to take care of. The reason we don't have any money is because I've been supporting two families. That no.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think it's the intent behind it too. Like, what is your intent with telling this lie? Is it to protect yourself? Is it to protect the person you're telling? Like, is there positive intent? And eventually, like, you have to lie. I don't even know that I call those white like lies though. Like, they're like kind of like fibbing or like white lies.
Right. Because then you have to contend with the fact, like, if you lie once, then you have to continue lying to to bear that first one.
Right.
So like, if the lie requires layers, then no.
No.
I think that's a good way to look at it. If
Okay.
it requires layers of leaving a legacy of a lie, a
Right.
historic lie, you have to create this whole new narrative. Then there are some issues.
Or be elected president.
Oh, this is not. We ain't going down that route today.
We talked politics last episode. No politics this
This
episode.
is all about bad relationship questions.
Is that
All right, this one is.
Sorry. Okay, next.
This one is. This one's a little longer
Oh boy.
and maybe has a little more context here.
Does your face glow?
This. No,
Sorry.
maybe you could see yourselves.
Oh. Wow.
All right. Question is, I was recently dating someone, and out of the blue, they started communicating less, and our dates became less frequent. I have attempted to discuss this with them, but they get defensive and tell me I am just being needy. Should I drop it and move on? It's been a year.
Yes. Because you deserve the love that you put into the world. And if they're not meeting your level of expectation, find someone that will.
I was just gonna ask if that was one of my exes.
They knew you was coming.
Right. They watched last year and they're like, you know what? It's gonna happen again. I know it. What was the question? Long
You just said it was one of your-
I'm sitting there. I
They said-
was like, wait a minute.
Essentially, they've been dating someone for a
Right.
year.
I
And
got
they
the
suddenly-
story, but what was the question in it at the end? Like,
Oh.
what,
Should I just drop it and move on?
yes.
Yes. Yes.
I mean, there's no simple. I mean, there is a simple answer to that. It's just yes. I mean, I would say maybe if. Well, it sounds like they have tried to have that communication,
Right. And the person has become defensive.
which is to me the first sign of you're probably ready to chop this up.
That person probably wants to end things with you, but they are not brave enough to do it.
Mature
Yeah.
enough. Yeah.
And I'm the type of
That's the
person-
word I was looking for.
I put into situations what I get out of it. So if we were communicating and it was going well and all of a sudden it stopped, well then, hey, I'm not texting you every morning or night. I'm gonna text you when you text me. I'm gonna give you the same energy that you're giving me.
Yeah.
And I mean,
Matching people's energy is probably the best way to tell if someone is interested in you, right? Like
Right.
no one wants to be putting in all the work in a
Right.
relationship.
I was like,
So-
growing up, my mom, she told me, like in a relationship or a conversation, either way it goes, the person that's asking the most questions is the person that's the most interested.
Yep.
So if you're not getting questions or asking them evenly, then you need to check on that.
Kelsey, you had something.
I just strictly wouldn't want to be called needy in a that is just such a negative term that if you've been going out with someone for a year, which isn't a short amount of time, and they choose to describe you as needy, not to mention the fact that while there's no set timeline for relationships and or commitment, a year is an ample amount of time to have been going out with someone to not have some sort of level of commitment.
Right.
Like to still have these questions a year in is kind of a red flag to me. And again, like needy is just not a nice way to describe people. And I wouldn't want that in a friendship and any kind of relationship I have.
Yeah, I feel needy is like even worse than clingy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I'm clingy
Yeah,
all day sometimes, but like I don't needy means that I can't function without you. Clingy is like I don't like to function without you.
Right.
Yeah.
There's a difference.
Yeah, and if we were talking like maybe 3 months into a relationship, then it's probably easier to chalk it up. But you've invested a year
Yeah.
Right.
of your life into somebody, and now they're just kind of one being distant, and then they're saying you're needy now. Whereas, like, well, I mean, obviously we don't have context, but I'm assuming prior to this time they were going out on dates, having times together.
Right.
Now all of a sudden it's like, what's going on?
Yeah, just drop them.
Right. Like after a year, I've like left the toilet seat up. You know.
Right. You've reached level of comfort in a year, right?
Exactly. Like, you know, I've taken my socks off, you know.
You're walking around your house in your underwear.
I do that anyway.
You get that from day one with Corey.
Huh?
You get that from day one with you.
From day one. I mean, unless I'm having like a group gathering or setting, like a party, a la Christmas. Otherwise, no.
Okay. The next two questions I'm going to combine them because they're very similar. If that's okay.
No, yeah, they look
Okay.
similar.
It's your show.
You're
We're
right.
just paid here to be here.
Keep up, Corey. What's the question say?
So the first question is, can thruples be a healthy relationship or is it just fulfilling needs? The second question is, would any of you be open to a poly relationship? Yes or no, and why?
Somebody's trying to be dirty.
I think they can be helpful because I think people change. So you get in a relationship as one person, you evolve over time, and there may be some things that your partner isn't giving you that you need, and some things that you're not giving them that they need, and you still have enough of what was there to make it matter, and that one, including another person who has the best of what you both are missing, can help that actually be stronger. So yeah, no, I think it's possible. I think it can be healthy, and yes, I would consider being in one, which I think might be a change from last year. But yeah, no, I mean, I've opened myself up to a lot this past year. So yeah, I think that a pilot
If you will.
relationship could be great. Huh? I'm sorry.
Growth.
In a year since our
Growth.
last.
Not just my hair.
I agree. I think that we tend to think of love as this finite resource that we only have so much of it to give, but that's just not the case.
It's between the man and the woman.
It's just, to me, it's not like you have like, oh, I only have 100 cups of love and that's it. Like, that's not how love works. And so I think that it does take really special people, as you have to have really good open communication with each other, really clear set boundaries. But I definitely think that it's possible and it can be healthy. And to the question of, is it just getting your needs met? Isn't that what every relationship kind of is to a point? You find a person who complements you and you meet each other's needs in places that you may not be able to do so on your own. And so I think that I would say it is that, but I think any relationship is kind of that. I personally don't think I would ever be in a throuple because I don't like people enough to even be with one of them for very long. So the idea of being stuck with two people that I have to then have communicate with and like argue with in a healthy way and it just, that to me sounds exhausting.
The anxiety of it all.
But not because I don't think it's possible, but just because I don't think I have the personality for it. I think that me, and it's not even like a jealousy thing or any of that. It's just I get exhausted with one partner. Now you're telling me I have to keep up with two? Like, it's just simply I don't have the time.
I think that is a good perspective because I feel like a lot of people look at poly relationships and they think that, or open relationships, and people think that something is lacking or people just want to have sex with other people. And that may be the case for some people, who knows? But I still think within a poly relationship or a throuple, it can definitely work. It just depends on the individuals. There is love to share and give, like Kelsey said. Love is not a finite thing. And speaking from experience, I know that you can love more than one person and still be meeting the needs of one partner and getting something from a different partner.
Yeah. I think you both had a real good perspective on that. And Kelsey, what you said really stood out is every relationship, whether we want to see it as such, does fulfill needs in our lives. It creates security, which is something we need, but we may not see that as a need. We see that as, no, security is just part of life. Because I think we've been taught that we go to college, we get married, you have the babies, you settle down. That's life. And I want to say way before, any of us were born, and maybe 100 years back, I think poly lifestyle was more open.
Well,
And
yeah, when you think about like those, what is it, Mormons that have huge
Multiple wives.
marriages, yeah,
Yeah.
polygamy and the whole thing.
Mormons, from what
Yeah.
I understand, though, do it for a selfish reason. I was under understanding that they want to, at the time when it was more widely practiced, it was the idea of repopulating the earth. And so you had one man with multiple wives, so they multiple women could be pregnant at the same time. That I don't know if I necessarily agree with. We have enough babies on this planet as there is. We don't need more children. We don't need more children. But yes, I mean, you think Greeks and Romans were a lot more open with things like that way back when.
Yeah, and I think it can be a healthy relationship, like you said. You have more love to give. I honestly believe there would probably be more secure poly relationships visible to everyone if there was a safe environment for that. I just don't think there's a safe environment because we automatically, we either see it as dirty or we see it as, well, that person's lacking something. So truly that's what you're doing. And I can mention that from experience.
I mean,
that
give it time.
that is what some people think.
Yeah, well, I'm like, give it time. It took a while gay relationships are more open now than they were in the past, even though, yeah. So, with time, it may be a more accepted thing.
I think you made a good point too, as we are all taught that we have this linear way of going about life where we, get married, have children. I think the generation that's getting a little older and even the newer one that's coming up is starting to challenge that idea a little bit more, that not everyone's life goes in this linear path of, college, husband, babies, wife, whatever. And I think that will open up the opportunity for people to be in polyamorous relationships a little bit more, because the quote unquote alternative lifestyle is a little bit more accepted. Not as accepted as it probably should be, in my opinion, but it's hopefully getting there. And, they always say it takes a village to raise children. So what's wrong with building a village of people that you love? Why are we defining this love? Why are we saying we can only have one partner if that's okay with you and your partner? It's none of my business what you do in your house or even in public, as long as you're not being a weirdo. I just simply don't I don't have the time to care about other people's wants and needs in that space. If that's what works for them, by all means, because I think all of us are just trying to find at least one person that loves us in that sense. And if you find two, that's awesome. Good on you, because it's not easy in this day and age.
Right. Yeah. We saw a documentary on poly relationships. It was actually a Mormon couple. I believe it was Mormon. Man and woman.
No, they were
Episcopal.
Sure.
It was one of those religions. It was a man woman, and they had a baby, but his wife was bi. He allowed her to explore that. And it ended up turning into a throuple relationship. And the way they show, and I get it, it's not for everybody. And it's not for everybody to understand, but the way they were able to raise that child and create balance when one parent wasn't there, there was always a parent there for that child, which is really, really spoke to me about polyamorous relationships. Because I'm like, it's not, a lot of people think it's all about the sex or missing needs between a couple. They created a functional family that just worked for them, and being able to care for that child who's just growing up with so much love, at least from what we saw in in the documentary, and it was like it is possible. It's just I think there's so many negative aspects that people want you to believe when it comes to polyamorous relationships. If the person was asking, I think it is a lot of work and a lot of communication. Like if you're bad at communicating, you want to work on that probably before jumping into polyamorous relationship. Because now you're dealing with two people. When you think about it, it's three relationships. It's one couple, it's the other couple, it's everybody in the relationship. It's like 3 to 4 relationships when you think about
That
it.
sounds exhausting.
Gotta create an Excel sheet.
A Google Calendar and Excel sheet.
Well, yeah, I don't Apple Pages, charts, whatever. Yeah.
So yeah, we hope that helped. Here come I'm getting all the long ones here. Here we go. Keep up, Corey.
Keep up, Corey.
It's gonna be my joke. My wife wants to try things in the bedroom I'm not okay with doing. We've been married for 8 years, and all of this has come as a surprise to me. I'm a straight male with no desire to have sex with the same sex. She wants a threesome. This is a lot of detail. Sorry if you submitted this.
I mean, we appreciate detail,
I appreciate the question. She wants a threesome with another man. I don't know what to do. Any advice?
So
It goes back.
he has no desire to have sex with the same sex. But if she wants a threesome, it's not meaning
Is she asking him to do that?
He doesn't have to have sex with the other guy. It's her.
Right.
Like, they don't even have to be on the same end.
Right.
I mean, you're not wrong.
You say on one side of the rope.
It sounds like they need to talk about why she feels this way. I mean, maybe there's things that have happened that she like. I think before any decisions need to be made, like that's part of the conversation is what brought about these feelings. Because I think context helps you digest things a little bit better. And if he's still not okay with like it after hearing the context and really digging into it, I mean, sometimes you're just not into things that other people are into, and you kind of have to then navigate that as a couple and determine if that's a deal breaker for one of you or not.
Right. And sometimes it's not bad to try new things.
No.
I mean, step outside of your comfort zone. That's how a lot of things have happened, like in the world. People were uncomfortable. I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, you try something once and you hate it, you don't ever have to do it again.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't know I liked sushi until I tried it. Yeah.
Comparing sushi to a threesome is wild work.
Oh, I didn't even. Yeah, that was. Yeah, that was.
We appreciate that.
You know, it still stands. I tried sushi of all varieties, and it was great.
You ruled out one, right?
I told you this year has been fun.
I feel like there's some more stories there.
Yeah.
Let me make up questions now.
Being together for 8 years, as time goes on, I can see how things could get stale or you need to spice things up. And maybe this is just a fantasy that she's always had and wanted to fulfill. And she found enough courage to ask her partner, hey, I would like to try this. And though it may make you uncomfortable, it would really help me to see if this is something that I enjoy. And I think Kelsey had a great point where it was like, you know, sometimes you just have to ask the questions like, why do you want to do this? Is there something lacking? Or is this just something to add on to what we do in the bedroom? And like you said, you don't have to have sex with this man. She's not asking you to do that at all.
And if she is, maybe clarify that ahead of time.
Right.
Ask the questions.
I think the
Set
fact
boundaries.
the fact that he actually came to you and expressed those feelings and asked that versus the first question we had, like she could have lied about it and went and did it with two other guys that weren't her husband, and then
Yeah.
she would have still gotten it taken care of, but it would be it's a lie at that point.
Yeah.
But yeah,
it probably took a lot of courage for her to
I'm sure it did.
even,
Like
I'm
I'm sure
sure
be open to things. The honesty was great. Also, how serious is this? This want from her? Like, is it something that could possibly break up your relationship because she really wants that? And it's like, how far are you willing to take that? Like, you being uncomfortable with the situation to possibly lose your relationship altogether. Like, how much of an issue is it between her wanting it and you not wanting it? What is it worth?
Right.
yeah. And I just try to think about her point in that I'm sure she's been sitting on that for a while. I don't think people automatically just, I just want to have a threesome. I mean, at least I don't think so. But, and sometimes they may just happen, unplanned. But I think she may have been sitting on that for a while. It took a lot for her to ask. And I think he should take the time to ask those questions, like y'all have said, and try to decipher what that truly means. And he may be making up what it's going to be without actually understanding what she wants it to be.
Mm-hmm. And also ask the question, is it the threesome that's the issue, or is it the guy? Because if she would have wanted it to be another female or another woman, like, would it be the same issue? Would you still be
Probably
asking the
not.
same question?
Right.
Yeah. That's usually the case, right? If it's another woman, then sure, yeah, I'm all game. But the moment you throw a man in, it's like, oh, hold up.
No.
Sounds like we need to have a conversation.
Yeah.
They need to have a conversation and just clear up what it means. And I think a lot of people get in relationships and are in relationships for a long time and don't realize that sometimes your sexual desires or wishes kind of change, or you become more intrigued in things that maybe 10 years ago you weren't really thinking about. And it's just, I think that's just personal growth. And that's actually another thing. It's like, I don't think anybody thinks about their sexual growth. It changes, I think, over the course of years. And we don't really focus on that growth. We're always like career growth, personal growth. Your sexual desires kind of change over time as well, or you become interested in things.
Or else you wouldn't have the highest STD rate in the villages. I mean,
It's so true.
The older you get, stuff happens,
Man, some stories from the villages when I worked at a certain university that provided health care up there.
I think I worked at that same university. Or the medical part of it.
All right, next question. I feel like I'm putting the most energy into my relationship. I am the one always reaching out.
Drop it.
Yeah, go by.
Yeah.
Continue reading, Zach.
Energy in 2025.
Hello.
I'm always we're trying to plan the dates. We've only been seeing each other for 3 months. Should I walk away?
Yeah, because it's easier now than it will be in 4 months.
Yeah, because if you're doing it now, you're going to continue to plan everything, and you're gonna plan this entire relationship. No, let it go. Like I said earlier, like, put in the energy that you're getting. Stop reaching out first and see if they reach out to you.
That is a clear sign. The moment you stop texting and you don't get another text, and then you get a text 2 weeks later, hey, stranger. Ooh, those 2 words make me want to throw everything that's around me. Hey, stranger. Hey, stranger.
Because it's like, I'm pretty sure my phone works the same way yours does.
Yeah. Thank you.
Otherwise, I wouldn't have got this message.
Everybody got unlimited text and data nowadays. This isn't when I was growing up, and you can only do that after 8 o'clock.
The T9.
They will never know. T9 was the time.
I hate to give such a straightforward answer, but I think that's
Yeah.
it. Like if they're not matching your energy, it's 3 months.
Right. It's only going to get, if you keep going into it, it's only going to get harder to break up with that person because you're more invested. Do you want to waste another 3 months and still have the same outcome?
Right.
Yeah.
I don't know that I
I
would
mean,
go into a relationship either, though. But that's me.
no, we're just
That's
dating.
fair.
Probably
But yeah,
dating.
if you're already getting red flags before it's something serious, nah, get out of there.
Yeah. I mean, talking from experience, there was a time where I gave somebody time and we broke up and then we said, "Oh yeah, let's do that again." And you gave them more time and they still gave the same.
Yeah.
So
I mean,
it's just going to make it worse and probably more painful in the end.
Yeah.
And I don't think
people
having a
show you
conversation will. Sorry, Corey. Go ahead.
Oh no, I was just saying people show you who they are.
Yeah.
Just pay attention to that.
Yeah. And like I said, I don't think you can talking to them about like people don't want to change unless they want to change themselves. So like I hesitate to even bring it up in this instance because it's one, you've only been with this person for 3 months, and usually those are those like you're excited to see the other one, like you're trying to plan the dates, and if they're already giving you this, then I don't know what's going to happen when you get to the 8-year slump. And
They asked to have sex with a man.
Right.
Everyone's supposed to be excited and everyone's happy. Like
yeah,
if they're no.
Yeah, if we're doing things that usually happen down the road in the first 3 months, where it's like everybody's giddy like high schoolers,
Right.
there's something wrong there.
Because communication is only going to get worse, and if it's already bad,
Right? You can move on, heal, and find you the next person, or just take
within
time
3
for
more
yourself.
months.
right?
There you go.
Right there.
All right.
Go ahead. I'm just getting my water.
Do I need to marry my wife?
Wait,
You thought
What?
aren't you already? Hold on. What did you say?
I'm just getting my water.
No, what Sean said.
I was gonna read the question. All right. Do I need to marry my wife to live a happy life?
That's okay. This
Both-
is where I'm confused. Is your wife is someone you're already married to?
Married to.
So why is this person asking? That's where I'm getting
Okay.
yes, you need to marry your wife for them to be called your wife.
All right, good catch. I think they just used that word because they probably been with this person for so long. Okay, I'm gonna finish the question.
Okay.
We both decided not to get married, but everyone keeps telling me it's a bad idea. So I think he means, should I marry my girl? But I feel like he feels like she's already his wife without them being married. So
Okay.
yeah.
So that's
Because
the
I have
question.
a friend like that. Yeah.
Who fucking
Do I
cares
need
what
to
anyone
get
else
married?
thinks? Who cares?
Right.
If you guys are both happy, who cares? You're not going to get much of a tax break in this day and age, so who cares?
Look, I will say Oprah and Stedman have been together for as long as I have been alive, and they have not been married. Will and Jada are married, and that relationship is messy as fuck. So no,
True.
you don't have to be married to be happy. No.
The only thing that I caveat here is healthcare. Sometimes when you're not married to your partner, it is difficult to make medical decisions and or be in the room or wherever it may need to be if you're not married. Even if you declare that person like your emergency contact or anything like that, there's still a little bit of red
Power
tape.
of attorney, all that, yeah.
Yeah.
It's crazy that you being married used to be a financial thing, and now it's a health thing.
I'd lose money if I was married right now.
Insane.
Taking care of some crusty, dusty man who doesn't make as much as me, no thanks.
Yeah, I don't think you need to be married in order to be happy. And anybody that has anything to say about your relationship, I always say this, like, you're not in it.
Right.
You're not paying a bill. You're not paying a mortgage. You're not paying a car note. You don't know what happens in that house. If both of them are happy and thriving, who cares?
Yeah.
Let them be.
Yep.
Yeah. No, I agree with you. I just think it's one of those society things again, I think, where people are saying, well, you have to get married.
But why?
You have to. You just have to,
You
and
have
you
to
don't.
have
If
kids
you,
and no.
no, I think people can live a very happy, long life, not married,
My
as long
parents
as
were
both
never
of them
married.
understand.
My parents were together 18 years, and they were never married.
Yeah. See,
My mom's been divorced
I,
twice, so
sure, your mom doesn't appreciate that.
Yeah, you just spilled her
what?
tea
First
over
of all,
here.
she was better after every marriage, so she's good.
It's the glow up. It's the post breakup glow up.
Yes, yes, yes. My mom is yes, she's good.
I think though it does depend on if both parties don't want to be married, then who cares what anyone else says? But if you're with someone who does want to be married, that's another conversation where someone's going to have to compromise somehow because that is important to some people, and if that's important to your partner, you have to determine what's more important, your partner's happiness or you not wanting to be married.
Right.
Yeah, that's a really good point. Like, and we don't have that context, but that is a great
No, we
point.
don't.
Oh, we do.
They both don't want to be
Oh,
married.
okay, my bad.
Who
But that
cares
is a
what
good
anyone else
point.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
I don't. What's this question? You don't want to be married. You're adults. Don't be married.
It's basically tell people to mind their business.
Tell people to mind their
Absolutely.
business. Stay out of your
I
relationship.
mean,
Like,
yeah. If people want you to be married and you can just buy rings and tell them you went to the courthouse.
yeah. Or just buy the ring. You don't have to explain that. It's like, I'm married.
That's it.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, when did you get married? You know,
that
None of your
time.
the other
business.
day.
He wasn't invited.
The other day, it was a small ceremony.
It's also like when people do get married or couples get together and they're like, when are you having a baby?
Oh
And they're
my
like,
God.
I want to travel. Like, I want to see things. I want to do things. Even if they want kids, maybe they want to do things before they have
You
kids.
can't have them right now, and you're making them really upset by asking that question.
Right.
That too.
Yeah.
Sometimes
Leave
There's a
women
lot of things that
alone.
go into that.
sometimes I think
That's business.
wow. Sometimes I think marriage though, just like the act of adds pressure that's not needed. Like when you're just a couple dating, sometimes it's simpler than now I'm legally tied to this person.
Divorce is expensive.
Yeah.
And like,
Yeah.
unfortunately, a lot of marriages end in divorce. And so then you're like, if you get married and you're gambling, you're like, well, one day I might have to pay a lot of money to get out of this.
It's a gamble.
And I don't know that I don't know if I like that idea.
Marriage is a gamble.
I mean, I feel like we've gotten that questions like, why are you guys married? And it's like,
Not gonna lie.
I'm fairly certain I've asked that question.
The first, I didn't ask when they were going to, but the first, I don't know, couple of years of our friendship, I thought you were married, and I
Yeah.
think I asked the question, "Are you married?" And you're like, no. And I was like, "Oh,
No.
but there's a difference between getting that clarification and just actually saying it because it's like, and then it comes like, why aren't you married? You should be married. There's something wrong with you guys. It's like, no, we
I
just
get asked why I'm not
not to get
married
married.
all the time at work. Oh my gosh, when are you gonna find a nice young lady and settle down? Never. Why aren't you married? I'm smart.
My nail tech roasted me the other day. She told me I need to stop traveling and spend my money on settling down. She says, I've done your nails for 7 years and you still have no boyfriend. And I said, okay.
That's all. Again, my
Okay, yes, ma'am.
That is a.
Do you still want my
that-
business?
7 years, that is a
I went
healthy
right on
relationship.
back the next week to her. She just does my nails so good. I was like, I'll put up with the abuse. It's fine.
I was like, 7 years, that is a healthy relationship, let me tell you. You should tell her next time she says something, you're my boyfriend. What do you mean?
Yeah, I'm like, Hannah, I've known you longer than I've known anyone in Tampa.
No, you tell her, if I get
think
married,
my barber is my longest relationship, my current barber.
yeah,
Fine.
that's
He
probably
grew up many hairstyles.
you're my longest relationship.
Oh, wow.
Followed closely by my barber.
Yeah, he's a close second.
He's very close. He's probably at the 19-year mark.
Damn.
Wow.
But yeah, that don't get married if you don't want to. Travel, enjoy your life. Like I don't want to put. I will put my sister on. I guess I'll put her on blast. Like they're enjoying life. They're not ready to have kids yet. They are enjoying life. They're putting themselves together, or as we found on a TikTok once, it said, "I'm really getting good at practicing having kids." You know, it's
I
like
used
enjoy
that
life.
term yesterday. I went to a thing with some friends that they were having a Black History lunch, and I enjoyed it. But I told them I had a hard out at like 5 o'clock, and they're like, "Well, why?" I was like, "I got to go to practice." And the lady's like, "Practice? What are you practicing for?" And I was like, "To have kids." She said,
At 5 p.m. on a Saturday? Damn, what an early call.
"Well, no, I had to leave by 5."
It's gonna be a long night.
Yeah, like it was a date
Got
that
those 3
started
dates
at
lined up.
7. Yeah, that was over the weekend. Different day, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Let me tell you, it has been a weekend. I rushed back to get on the camera from a date. So let me tell you, I have been on it.
Oh, get that Google Calendar.
Oh, I do. Where's my phone? I do. I got it.
All right, we had a lot of fun with that question. Is it possible to be friends with an ex?
Yes. As a person who is friends with 90% of my exes, I will say yes.
Okay, Kelsey.
I 100% think it's possible, but it also depends on your current relationship status and the security of your partner.
Mm-hmm.
Because I've been friends with exes, and I have no problem doing so. But if your partner isn't okay with it, and or your relationship with your partner isn't secure enough, I think you have to drop your ex as a friend because some people just can't handle that, and I don't think it means some people just aren't okay with it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Corey, I'll ask you the question: if you had somebody that you were really wanting to settle down with,
Mm-hmm.
and they found out you were friends with your ex, and they're like, "You got to drop him," what would you do?
I would evaluate that relationship because someone who I would want to settle down with would be comfortable with that. I don't have a lot of space in my life for envious people, in any stretch of the imagination. So if we're going to be together, then you're going to be okay with my past, just as I would be okay with your past.
How far removed is the ex, though? Like, I think that plays into it too. Like, if it was your most recent ex and you've only been broken up for a month, that's a little
So
tough.
I agree with that, but I also think that me personally, I'm really good at separating feelings. So when someone is my ex, like I have no more like I don't have the desire to be with them in that way anymore. And so if it's just friendship, it's just friendship.
Got it. Okay. No,
I'm
I
not.
was curious. I was genuinely curious on that because I personally don't have any friends that I've dated anymore as friends, but I was interested to know like what you would do in that case because there's two different unique situations. Like Kelsey has her point of view, and Corey, you have your point of view. I just want to know how you would kind of approach that, and I think you have a solid plan there. Like you tell that person like this is part of my life, and you either get on it or you don't. I'm not going to
Right.
change. It's like you're kind of changing your values a little bit.
Right. If you think about it, I've known this person longer than I've known you.
Yeah.
That's
I mean,
fair.
that happened to me last year, and I cut the person off that I was dating because that wasn't. It also was the way they went about asking me to stop being friends with the other. Like, there's layers to it. But I do agree with Corey. I think that I personally would also want to be with someone who is confident enough in our relationship that I could be friendly. I don't mean like friend, like I'm not talking about going to dinner with my ex kind of thing, one-on-one. That's a little bit fuzzy, but like I could be friendly with them. I think I would want that as well.
Yeah, like I want to be able to see this person in a store and say hello, how are you? You know, what's been going on. I'm not
Yeah.
saying like you said. I'm not saying like we're hanging out every Saturday and Sunday.
Right.
Yeah, you don't want to hide when you walk into the Bed Bath and Beyond or whatever, hiding behind a counter. Oh shit, it's my ex.
Right. I don't want that. I mean, no. I'll invite my ex over to like if I'm having like a gathering or something, but I'll run that by. I'll be like, "Yo, are you cool with XYZ coming over?" But and if they say no, then no. But like, you're not gonna tell me not to be friends with anyone.
Love
Okay.
this conversation this time is a little bit more serious and more like I think we've all done some like soul searching in our lives
We've all done it.
over the last
Growth.
year.
Growth.
I think it's good.
I'm sure we could get some. I'm sure we can find some mess.
Can you truly love someone without ever having met them in person?
No.
No,
Sorry.
I couldn't, because it's one thing to present yourself in a certain way virtually, and it's another thing to do the same in person. Like I'm big off of like in person connection. So no, because catfish is a thing for a reason.
I don't know why that show is still on. Honestly, I do not know. We can reverse
TV,
Google image search nowadays.
I mean, how does people keep getting the wool pulled over their eyes?
I don't know.
And, you know, they want it to be pulled. Like they're typically. I feel like there are people out there that don't want to see the truth. They're getting attention or the love or whatever it may be from this person, and they don't want to see what's actually happening.
Yeah, I agree.
They changed like the host. I think the
I don't
host
watch
changed.
I think it's still one of them.
Yeah, it's the one that did the documentary. He's still there.
Yeah, they replaced his partner.
I never saw the documentary. How did?
No.
Never.
I've never. No, I never knew what actually happened to the guy. I just knew that he had this show.
He's just like he's hosted a show, so
Yeah. Like the show was cool. When I watched it, I think the first time I saw it, I was at a friend's house, and I was like, "Oh, this is good. Like these people are nuts." And so I watched it, but I never actually knew what happened to him, and I never really cared to find out.
He got catfish. That's all you need to know. I guess.
Okay.
there's there's a documentary on Netflix that came out. Oh God, I want to say in the last like few years.
Is it the one with the Indian lady?
Yes, bro, that one is wild.
Homegirl was like how many years?
10, 13,
something like that.
8 years.
You don't remember
dating virtually?
She like met him through Facebook, right? And she
and it turned out
it's like her friends of a friend. Spoiler alert, Sean. Jesus.
We'll put in the edit part where it's like spoiler ahead. Sean is
She
the whole
meets this guy on Facebook and they start dating. No, they start talking just as friends, and he's in a marriage, and they're friends, they're friendly. And like, what is it? 2 years down the road, the quote unquote divorce happens, and then he gets shot or something wild. And then she's communicating with him supposedly and his friend. He can't ever come to New York or wherever it is that she's at for whatever reason. And this goes on for 8 years.
It's wild. He's supposedly in the hospital for a long time.
No, her personal spoiler alert.
What is it called? I want to watch it.
I have to find it.
Sweet Bobby.
Can you figure it out for me?
What is it called?
It's Sweet Bobby.
Sweet Bobby.
Sweet Bobby. Okay. I am writing that.
That one. Sean, my elbows were on my knees and my jaw was on the floor the entire time.
Yeah.
Is it Bobby like Bobby Brown?
Bobby.
Yeah.
We'll watch that at some point this week.
Now, she was in love.
Sure. Is it a series or a movie?
It's a documentary, so it's about an hour and a half.
Documentary.
Oh, perfect. I might watch that tonight.
Oh, it is so good.
It was so good.
I'm sorry I spoiled it for you, but it is so good.
I mean, the level of catfishing that went into this
and manipulation
was wild. The ending will have you on the ground. You'll be
I know the ending now, but wow.
No,
like, you won't You know it, but you still don't
Oh,
really know it.
that's not the end.
Oh,
All you know is that she's been catfish, and I told you who did it, but
That person doesn't really come
actually,
up much.
there's so
I'm
much to it.
excited.
yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
excited. This is
It's
gonna
wild.
be. I'm excited.
The
It's
ending,
like,
I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
it's like that. I'm sure you guys have seen it because I feel like it's been on Instagram for like years. That one lady who was dating this guy and they had kids, and then they found out that he was actually her adopted son that she gave up at birth.
What?
What?
Y'all haven't. Oh, I swear it's been on IG for a while. So it's a lady, and
So it's
her
her
and the guy.
own child?
She started dating this younger guy, and they were together for a while. They had kids, and then I think I can't remember how it happened, but they ended up finding out that he was actually her son that she gave up for adoption, like at birth or something. Now,
Wow.
You gotta
spoiler
find
alert,
that. I
walk
need to know
our
what
ass
that one
now.
is.
Boom.
I need to know what that is.
Talked about
Yeah.
a fucked up
Now
relationship.
you guys can have your jaw on the floor.
Did her kids okay? Like, that's incest.
Yeah.
But it was unknowing.
Yeah, but let's like, are her kids okay?
I don't know. They didn't show them. They just said they had kids, but I don't know. There's gonna be a lot of therapy needed there, because
Oh yeah.
not only is this my child, but it's my grandchild, and not only is this my child, but it's also my brother / sister.
Whoa, that's a mind fuck.
That's a whole lot to take in.
Have you seen? Did you guys watch the? Speaking of the new movie, it has Natalie. Has what's her name? Oh God, it's about the woman out of Washington that ends up marrying or dating her student who's like 13. She goes to jail and they have 2 kids together. And it has I want to say it's Natalie Portman in it, isn't it? She's
Isn't
like
the one with the kid? He was like, what was he? Hispanic or Indian or something?
yes.
And then they broke up.
Yes,
And
they
then
got
they-
divorced not too long
No,
ago.
I haven't. Where is it, on Netflix or something?
I don't remember. Let me tell you what it's called because
I know the story. I
Julianne
haven't
Moore
seen
is
it.
in it. Julianne Moore is the wife. Like she plays the May December is what it's called. And it's based off that true story of the woman who ends up marrying her student. And I think he was 13 and she was 32. And then they had 2 kids. Like, she went to jail, I think pregnant. She ends up moving or coming back out, does it again, and they end up with 2 kids together. And then by the time that he's legal, they get married.
Yep. I remember the story. Like, just growing up, I remember hearing the story, and it was wild as a child.
Yep.
And and I think it was like a Where Are They Now or something that I saw.
Yeah. That one's wild. That one's wild too.
That's crazy. Well, y'all have some recommendations now to watch.
Like,
They're all good.
Bad relationships.
Which one do you want to? So we'll wrap it up with one last question.
This political climate has me concerned on coming out. Should I stay in the closet? The answer to that, my friend, is, for me, I'm going to say no. I'm going to say no, that you should not stay in the closet, but you should come out, because I feel like more than ever now, we need to be proud of who we are. We need to show people that, we are people just like them, and we need to band together, because otherwise people are going to continue to persecute us anyway. But I feel like we need to stand up and make it known that we're not going anywhere. So that's my opinion. Sorry.
I didn't hear the beginning of it. I just
The
heard,
political.
should I come out?
So essentially, should I come out?
The answer should be if you're comfortable with it, but I don't know what the first part was.
Considering our political climate currently.
Oh, yeah. I don't think you should come out just because of something that's happening in the world, you should come out because you want to and it's right for you. Like, don't say, I'm going to come out just because our president doesn't like us. That's crazy or wild. Like, come out when it should be your decision to do it for whatever reason.
Got it.
But
Yeah, I would agree with that as well. If you're in a safe space too, like how old are you?
Mm-hmm.
You don't want to be left homeless,
mhm.
which we've seen a lot in the LGBTQ plus community. When they come out, parents kick them out. So I do agree with you. You should come out, be your authentic self, but also think about what comes after that.
Yes, what I said, but with the caveats of what everybody else said.
Yeah. Just you know your situation. If it's safe to do so, I hate to say that, but if you're like 16 thinking about coming out and that's going to put you out of the house,
Then maybe not.
maybe not. That's why I came out at 18. Final question. My husband and I have different political views. He has started hinting at me leaving my job and being a at-home wife. I'm not sure I want to live in this narrative. What should I do? We have 3 kids.
Girl, get yourself a support system and find your way the fuck out of that, because it is gonna get worse. You should not have to vote in a way that cancels out your husband's vote, ever.
No, I agree with you. You I don't know how long you've been
Was
together.
the question about the political division, or was it about the not wanting to be a stay-at-home mom?
I think it's more so
Or
the narrative that he wants her to quit her job and become a at-home wife.
So he wants her to be dependent on him, which is a ton
Correct.
of control, which I don't agree with. First of all, there have been a lot of men and women who have fought really hard for you to have the right to work. So,
Agreed.
no, that ain't it. That ain't the move.
I also think, obviously not knowing her kids, but you have to think about this example you're setting for your children. Right. If we want to break this toxic cycle that is happening in our country, we need to have strong people that stand up and say this isn't right. And so if you want to stay home. Like, that's 100% your choice, because housework is work. Raising children is work. And anyone that thinks it isn't is wrong. But if you do not want to stay home and your husband is hinting may turn into forcing, have an exit plan now just in case.
Yeah.
Because we always want to think of the children.
Yeah. Well, and you may love him, but does he love you in the same way if he would force you to do something that you don't want to do?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. I feel like you need to, I'm sure you love your husband, but at the same time, you should have a backup plan. At least start having contacts or putting money away if you haven't already started doing that, so that you have a way out. Because the minute that you don't, you're kind of trapped there.
Right.
And unless you leave, and you have to be sneaky about doing that, you have to find somewhere to go. I don't know if you have relatives or friends that would help you, but I would say start making a plan.
Yeah.
Get you an account on the side and make sure it's fully funded.
Yeah.
Because staying home, then you have to ask permission, and you're a child again. Like, can I buy? Can I go? Can I do? I don't like that. That's no.
Yeah. It's 2025.
It's 2025.
It should not be a decision somebody has to make.
No.
Like, you should not put her in that position because the narrative now is that we need to go back to the nuclear family.
Why?
As I've heard.
So I can be hopped up on Quaaludes baking a meatloaf for 6 hours and not have a thought in my brain. That does sound kind of nice some days. I'm not gonna lie, but that's my choice.
Right.
Right. Like I'm sure there's people out there that they want that for their life. Like we saw a documentary recently that this girl literally wants to live on a farm and wants to be kept, and she wants to have many babies.
And I love
And
that because that's
right,
her choice.
exactly.
Right.
But she
I
was
wouldn't
trying
mind having a
to.
farm with
A
no
what?
animals. I wouldn't mind having a farm.
With no animals?
I mean, grow your own, get your own eggs, I guess.
I mean, they are $5 a carton now. Those things are damn expensive.
Could be like a, I don't know, a grain farm. I mean, I wouldn't farm it. I just want a lot of land and a house on it.
That's fair.
I would call it.
Yeah.
No, they call them ranches. I want a ranch.
With a bunch of ranch hands.
I live in Florida though, so I don't think we have ranches. We got swamps.
We got swamps. You can grow alligators and
You can grow
Do I
alligators.
gotta move like Montana or somewhere to get a ranch? Tennessee? Do they have ranches
Probably.
in Tennessee?
I'm pretty sure there's
Ranches are like Montana. I think you got to go farther than you're thinking.
Oh gosh, I'll just go. I mean Montana.
just abandon that dream.
Montana.
I will be a snowbird. I will live in Montana in the summertime and come down here and bother y'all in the winter.
In time for our third annual Valentine's Day podcast.
Right. I'm like, hey, is the guest bedroom available?
But hey, just to close out that question, it's like Kelsey said, if that's the vision you have for yourself, then that's the vision you have for yourself. It doesn't seem like this person does, and you need to get your stuff in order if that's the direction it's going, because it's not going to be good for you, especially if you're a powerful person that wants to thrive and succeed on your own.
It's especially if it could be where she may be making more money than him, and it could be a thing that he wants her to not do that because he feels what's the word? He doesn't feel as powerful with her making more money than him. So he's like, no, you should be a stay-at-home wife and let me, get her hair and grind it. I don't like it. I don't like it one way. It all seems like control.
I think a lot of women lose themselves a little bit when they become mothers. Like that's such an important job for them to do. I want her to know that she's still very important and a person that matters, and that if she wants whatever she wants to do is her decision, and like no one should be able to take that away from her. You always want to do best by your kids, but ultimately happy and healthy kids come from happy and healthy adults. And so if she is in a situation that isn't good for her, like she needs to choose herself, because ultimately that means she's choosing her children.
Put your mask on first.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Can't save your kids if you're not saving yourself.
Yeah. It's crazy that in 2025 we're talking about the nuclear family of wife stays home and takes care of the house. And again, it's okay if that's what you have a vision for, but to impose it on women
it's not everybody's vision.
Right.
And with the price of everything, you need both incomes.
Right, like what does your husband do that he thinks he can afford to keep you at home? Because I would like to know. With 3 kids, he thinks you can stay home? What?
Right.
Yeah, I mean, 1 kid's expensive. I can't imagine 3.
A dog is expensive.
I need both incomes.
True. I mean, Kenji gets a shot every month. It's almost $100 plus his. What is it?
Galliprant.
His arthritis medicine is another $50 every month. It's like, Jesus. I can't imagine a kid that consistently is outgrowing clothes and
eating.
A dog can control the food.
Right.
A kid, you cannot. Like, they need 3 meals a day.
And once they become teenagers, what is a meal? It's just eat.
Well, that's the end of this year's Valentine's Day episode. Thank you guys again for joining us.
Yes, thank you to our panel.
I was excited. I could not wait.
Happy to help.
Thrilled.
It's always fun, and we should just plan on this being a yearly thing at this point.
Yeah, I mean, maybe we'll bring them on for something other than relationships one day.
Yeah, maybe we can do like I don't know.
I got a lot of
question.
dumb knowledge floating around up here.
Yeah. Well, we should do like a trivia show. I got a lot.
Oh God, no! Don't put me on that.
No,
I
I'm
no.
terrible at trivia.
say
We,
terrible.
Sean and Manny, we can play that board game that we were supposed to play at my Christmas party.
Okay.
I don't
On the
remember.
podcast.
We'll put the camera on the board game. Is that what we do?
Would that be like copyright infringement?
I don't know what
I
the
don't know.
podcast.
Trademark?
No.
I don't know my laws. We can just ask the questions. I mean, we don't really have
There you
to.
go. We can ask the question.
We'll show it in the beginning, like, courtesy brought to you by.
Not sponsored, but using your
Right,
question.
not sponsored. Yeah, that's true.
Well, thank you all for joining us again.
Yeah,
It's
that
been
was great.
fun. Well, you want some of mine? Let's send it over to you.
Yes, actually, I do. I wanted to go all white, like my granddad. It was like he just had like it was perfectly white. I want that,
You're still young. You'll get there.
but I want it now.
You can dye it.
No, I don't want to die. I want to actually like just wake up tomorrow morning and it's just white. I'm like, look at me, just look at me.
All right. Well, we're going to get out of here because everybody has to work tomorrow because we don't have a rich person that wants to take care of us.
Yeah, we can't stay home and take care of the
I am
kids.
a rich person, so I ain't taking care of no one.
I'll take care of myself.
I am
And
a
I.
rich white man, Mom.
I'm gonna see if they play in Beyonce's face again this year and not give her an award. And then
And don't
pray
forget
that
to watch
she
Sweet
will
Bobby.
date for the show, for these shows.
Yes.
And watch the Bobby documentary.
Yes, watch
Yeah.
Sweet Bobby.
Sweet Bobby.
Yeah, that might be tomorrow because I forgot that the Grammys were on.
The Grammys are on.
We want a full report on you watching that.
How many pages and do you want a double space?
Double spaced, minimum 4 pages with an abstract and a cited page.
That's I
Yeah.
page also.
Yeah, of course. APA new version, not the old.
Okay.
Anyway, we're getting out of here. Thank you so much for joining us. Say bye to our lovely panel.
Bye.
All right, y'all. Thank you so much for joining us for this very special episode. I hope you enjoyed it. I know we did. There was lots of laughs, lots of advice given. And we just had a good time.
It was a great time. The questions weren't as raunchy,
Not this
but
time.
you know what? I think it was great, insightful conversations. We touched a little bit on politics, how that's impacting some people nowadays in relationships. So
Yeah.
great advice. Again, we are not licensed clinicians. We are just giving you our points of view on your questions, and we appreciate you for sharing them. And we hope that brings you some kind of, at least sparks the thought process on getting your solution to your
Yes.
question.
But yes, thank you to Kelsey and Corey for joining us again. Thank you to you for joining us again. And as we always say here, do something good for yourself.
And then do something good for someone else. Don't forget, you can find us on Instagram and Blue Sky and YouTube by searching MASXP23. And we look forward to talking to you on the next one.
Bye, y'all.
Bye, y'all. Love. Never knew you were missing. Why haven't you?
Wanna hear you go.